I am a student of theoretical physics at the University of Edinburgh, and have a keen interest in the humanities, specifically in literature. I am greatly concerned by the ubiquity of postmodern thinkers such as Derrida, Lacan, Deleuze and more recently Zizek in Western European and American universities. I am by no means an expert on these thinkers, but having read a small sample of their work, it is obvious to me that their references to quantum mechanics and mathematics are vastly erroneous and show a misunderstanding of the basic concepts that underpin these fields. Do you interpret the inclusion of these references in their discourse as a cynical attempt to intimidate their readers, or do you think they are genuinely misguided? How do you explain their popularity, and how does one effectively make criticism of these philosophers when they reject simple logical arguments as being naive?
I share your feelings entirely. Several of them, Lacan and Zizek in particular, I think are conscious charlatans. On science and math, the whole postmodern movement is hopelessly confused, at best. I've written about it a little over 20 years ago. There's a devastating critique by two very good physicists, Alan Sokal and Jean Bricmont. Fashionable nonsense. The nonsense doesn't affect science, at least the hard sciences, which are immune to this kind of silliness, but it has a very harmful impact elsewhere, particularly in the Third World, where French cultural influence tends to be quite strong. They are self-immunized from criticism, for exactly the reason you mention. I've been in debates with distinguished postmodern thinkers who very pretentiously orate about how truth and logic, in quotes, are Western or maybe imperialist concoctions that we must liberate ourselves from. That does end discussion. Why is it fashionable? That's an interesting question, and an important one. A lot of it, I think, is a cheap way of seeming to be very profound. Good ideas and understanding are hard to come by. Talking pretentious nonsense with invention of complex words is a lot easier, and one can pretend to be just as deep as the physicists. There's more to it than that, I'm sure, but this element can't be discounted, particularly in Paris.